Presentation of the ACC Network, an exclusive production of Raycom Sports.
The Duke Chapel provides the setting, and the Cameron Crazies provide the energy. We are inside Cameron for an old-fashioned Big Four ACC matchup to start our Saturday. Over from Winston-Salem, Wake Forest in to play Duke, and freshman sensation Marvin Bagley III doing things that freshmen just don't do. Good afternoon, everybody. Bob Rathman, Mike Jaminski. Great to have you with us for ACC basketball. And we begin our day, G-Man, with a bit of breaking news. Coach K will not be on the sideline today for Duke.
Got the flu bug going around. Jeff Capel will take over for him as head coach. And for the Deeks, the road just starting to get rough. 6 of the next 8 against top 25 teams. And that
Duke defense looked a lot better in the midweek win over Pitt. Our innovative play brought to you by Progressive Insurance, your first-round draft pick for car insurance.
And it's Marvin Bagley, and he's had a terrific freshman year. Likes to work on that right block so he can get into his left hand with the baby hook. Also finding the seam in the zone. Nice job shaping up, and he can finish over just about anybody in the country. And then showing his ability to run the court as well, not giving up on this play. He has had an awesome year so far.
And the Deacons need to be ready in transition today, no doubt about it. We'll be back with the opening tip. It's Wake and Duke from Cameron next.
What day is it?
Stay current. And right now,
ACC basketball is being brought to you by Food Lion, raising standards without raising prices. How refreshing. By New York Life, with the right guidance, everyone can be good at life. By Coyote Tractor. And by your local Toyota dealers. Toyota, let's go places.
The new Crazies wall that opened today here at Cameron. This looks so interactive and so much fun, and you can measure yourself against Duke stars of the past and the present in the south end zone here at Cameron Indoor. Ready for basketball. Les Jones, Jerry Heater, and Sean Hall to officiate. Les steps in between the two big men. Moore and Bagley, and the tip goes to Wake Forest.
Bob, this may sound crazy, but you know, the most important thing in a noon game is the warm-up. I mean, you've got to go at it a little extra hard before the start of this game. Get yourself into the flow quickly.
And the first rebound of the day belongs to Grayson Allen. The Blue Devils ranked 7th in the country.
Well, with the loss of John Collins and Dinos Middleglue, that's, you know, the strength is on the perimeter of this team. And you can see Duke is going to attack early inside.
And Moore answers with the block. The Blue Devils have won 6 straight against the Deeks.
And Darrell Moore is the one rim protector that they have on this team.
Wake Forest stumbled at home against Virginia Tech in the midweek game on Wednesday. Hanging on to it, Crawford now loose in the lane. Thompson up and off. The tip won't go, and it's out of bounds to Duke. Let's take a look at our Food Line starting lineups today. Thompson, Moore, Wilbekin, Crawford, Brown for the Deeks. Senior Grayson Allen and the 4 freshmen for the Blue Devils.
Bob, we talked about it, the perimeter, and I think it's going to be important for Wake Forest to see some early success from the outside. They run a ton of pick and roll and ball screens, and they should be playing loose in this game.
On the handoff, Trent from the elbow. And Moore's got another rebound.
We'll watch him along with Coach K. The flu bug going around the team, and he's just getting over it.
And a foul spotted on Wake Forest. Associate head coach Jeff Capel calling the shots today. As we mentioned, Coach K sitting this one out as that flu bug's going through the team. I was speaking with Kevin White, the athletic director. He's not feeling so well today. Did his radio show here at Cameron Indoor this morning. But it will go through your team in a heartbeat this time of year.
Well, you know, and Duke too, they've got a quick turnaround. A game down in Miami on Monday. So flying tomorrow, and Danny Manning right there. #1 overall pick in the NBA in 1989 after that miracle run with Kansas in '88.
Allen, it's a turnover. Crawford with the steal. Leads the break, the pull-up. Skying to get it more. Boy, he started the game, G-Man. Great energy. Carter there with that block.
Yeah, Carter's their leading shot blocker.
And the lob to Bagley.
And that's what the block shot can do. It triggers the fast break. Darrell Moore is not great in transition. I think Bagley can have a chance to get a lot of runouts in this game.
That dunk energizes the crowd and starts our day. 2-0 Duke. Wilbekin to Thompson. Here's Brown looking to drive. Off the glass and good to tie the game. The freshman averaging 7.5 points a game. Evens things at 2.
Brown, strong move there. Kind of a wide body at 6'5".
DeBell with the floater. And a leak out. Crawford going one-on-one. 4-2 Wake Forest.
All right, that was very poor transition defense by Duke. You got a guy coming in, he penetrates like that. You've got to have rotation back. They didn't have anybody back at half court.
Carter gets in and is fouled. And that will be the first one on Darrell Moore.
Well, here's the look, and Allen has been distributing the ball a little bit more, and that was a half-court pass that was right on the money. Beautiful finish. And then here's the look ahead. You see no white jerseys, only Duval is the only one back that time.
Carter, three-pointer. He's hit 47% of them this year.
And, you know, he really hasn't taken a ton of threes. That was only his 16th attempt. He may want to drive that a little more.
On the pick, Bagley James.
Not only is he beating bigs down the floor, but he's beating guards down the floor as well.
Duke 7, Wake 4. Brandon Childress just checked in for Wake. Thompson has his pocket picked by Allen. Thrown behind, turnover. Wake with numbers, a 4-on-2. Childress spots for 3.
Well, he continued. I mean, he had a terrible first half against Virginia Tech, but then a career high in the second half. So he's picked up right where he's left off, and they need that. You know, there's some wild cards on this team shooting the ball from 3, Bob.
Short is DeVal, but out of bounds to Duke. Changes as Justin Robinson will come in for Duke. This is Keyshawn Woods for Wake Forest.
Well, we talked about Trent with the flu bug. They may give him some shorter rotations in this game to try to save him a little bit.
Olivier Sarr also in on the whistle. Here's Allen moving into the paint, throws a lefty hook, gets it back. Second chance opportunity here for the Blue Devils. DeBell from the foul line. Crawford claims it. Nice toss ahead to Childress. Firing is Woods, now pulls it back as Childress will take it from the top of the key.
It looked like Danny Manning wanted things to settle down right there, but Childress feeling
a whistle, and that brings us to a timeout.
Yeah, well, here we got Bagley out in the open floor, which is where he excels. Terrific finish, and then down the other end, Childress getting heated early.
What do you love about Bojangles?
We're global now.
The ACC Network, an exclusive production of Raycom Sports, also streaming live now on the ACC.com and on the official ACC mobile app. On Carolina Ford, keys to the game, G-Man.
Well, for Wake Forest, they've really got to dominate the perimeter and make that a big key for them from downtown, and then for Duke, they've just got to control the paint on either side. Offensive rebounds, defensive rebounds.
Allen. Carter off the block. And the foul against the Deeks. And Sarr, his first. The other Deacon foul was on Brandon Childress right before we went to break. I think the big question, Mike, that Duke fans want to hear, particularly from you about, is where do you think the Blue Devils are defensively?
Well, it's definitely a work in progress. I was talking to somebody who's been here as long as I have, and he reminded me that And we'll revisit our forward keys. They were the blank push button ones before, but damage from distance. Wake Forest, they have to hit. They got to knock down threes. Play like the second half they did against Virginia Tech in that loss. And for Duke, just pounded inside. That's where your advantage is. And you see, with Carter, interesting that for right now, Wake Forest playing those guys one-on-one, not coming with the double team.
Carter's 2 free throws putting Duke in front 9-7. The team fouls are 5-zip Wake. From the corner, Woods sinks a 3, and there you go with that 3 ball for Keyshawn Woods.
Yeah, and he's again, 40%. Can knock it down, but Crawford at 37%, but he can be a bit of a wild card too.
Bagley moves into the paint.
Even though he's left-handed, he'll work on that side of the block, but I think if you can, that's about the best you can hope for defending him, making Bagley settle for a fall-away jump shot on that left side.
Justin Robinson draws his first foul. Jordan Goldwire coming in for DeVal. A 10-9 Wake Forest lead. This starts our big day of ACC basketball on the ACC network. 2 games coming up at 2 Eastern time. On the trap, Childress escapes.
Yeah, almost dribbled himself. He picked up his dribble in the corner. Fortunate to get out of there.
Wood steps inside the ring. This one long.
Grayson Allen out of control coming out, but at least he got Woods to at least take it long too and missed it badly.
Carter, and this one's picked off. Crawford will take it down again and steps this one.
Second easy points they've gotten off the turnovers, and that was just a lazy pass back up toward half court. You're just inviting a steal on that play.
Crawford had 15 here as a freshman, 21 last season.
There are guys who, Bobby, there are guys who they like to play in certain buildings. They like to play against certain teams. There's no rhyme or reason to it, but he certainly likes playing against the Blue Devils.
Allen on the dish to Bagley, his 3rd dunk.
Bagley doesn't care who he's playing against, at least not to this point in his freshman season.
12-11 Wake.
You'll see that action a lot, that Wake Forest likes to run that high pick and roll to get their guards open.
Goldwire the foul.
Here's that look, and there's just a bad decision right there, and a terrific play by Crawford to cut in. As many of those easy baskets as they can get against this Duke defense, especially the bigs, and knock down the threes.
Well, if you're Danny Manning, you got to feel great about the first 6 minutes of this game.
Yeah, it wasn't exactly a huge punch, but Duke came out with some energy, and Wake Forest has answered it so far.
Childress, deep 3, good.
Duke in the zone that time, but Childress really suffered through about 2.5 games of poor shooting, but that second half against Virginia Tech, he was lights out.
Allen on the bounce to the corner. Trent, good. That's a 3. Second leading 3-point marksman for the Blue Devils with 34 coming in. 15-14. Wake's gotten hot. They've hit 6 of their last 8 after starting 0 for 5. Robica nearly coughed it up. Retrieves in the backcourt.
The more success they can have from 3, they're going to have to draw Duke out of that zone, and they'll have to go back to man. Thompson.
And a foul on the rebound. This one on Sarr, his 2nd. Grayson Allen does a good job getting into the paint and then delivering.
Yeah, he's been less looking for his shot over the last 3, been more of a distributor. Nice play that time, and the Childress starting to feel regain that touch a little bit.
There's that second half you were talking about against the Hokies.
Virginia Tech got out of it a little bit too much. And this Wake Forest team, Bob, They've been ahead in 13 games this year. They just had trouble finishing.
Good ball movement for the Blue Devils. Trent. Deeks continue to apply the pressure in the transition game. Stop and pop for Woods.
Well, Duke shooting a low percentage, but the big thing is Wake has only given up 2 offensive rebounds.
Bagley. Rebound Moore.
Looked like he got a piece of that from behind.
15-14, Wake Forest. Childress recovers. Misses. Moore the offensive rebound. We got a foul on Wake. And it looks like that may be number 2 against Darrell Moore. Timeout at Cameron. We are back at Duke and a look at Krzyzewskiville outside Cameron. 15-14 Wake. The Deacons have not won here in 21 years. This is their last victory in Durham. You remember him, Tim Duncan. Wake won 81-69. It was January of '97, and that victory was Wake Forest's 9th consecutive win over Duke. Since that game, Duke has won the last 18 contests between the teams here at Cameron.
So we got several generations. We got a teammate of Tim's and Randolph Childress, and of course his son Brandon out there playing, and great ACC tournament with Dave Odom. You know, it helps to have players to help you win. You know, guys who are Hall of Famers.
That will make any coach better.
Tim Duncan, I think maybe to this day, still has the best hands of any college player I ever saw. I mean, he just caught everything like a vacuum.
Carter splits the pair, tying the game at 15. 11-10 first half. Thompson to the bucket, and it's a jump ball, hell ball, and Gary Trent getting in there, tying him up. The arrow belongs to Duke. Good D here.
Well, you can see how high everything was lifted on the right side, and it was a clear out, and that was a nice job by Trent coming in and getting a hand on that. There was really not a lot. He was the only person who was in a position to help on the play.
Grayson Allen gives to Bagley around the horn. Corner 3. The ball is good. Ravon Duval with the 3-pointer, and that's been something where he struggled with that outside shot at 21%.
Yeah, and it's but a big lift, and with Grayson Allen to this point in the game is not scored and only taken 1 shot, but doing other things.
Blocked and pulled down by the ball. Duke running. Allen spotting up in the corner, was asking for it when he came over midcourt. Wake Forest the other way with Mitchell.
It's nice to he's got 4 rebounds, 3 assists to let other guys settle in. But let's face it, they're going to need his offense and for him to be more aggressive.
Wilbekin, second chance here for the Deeks. Crawford. And we're going to have a foul on the Blue Devils. This will be on Gary Trent Jr. His first of the afternoon. A little too aggressive with that box out, and it's 18-15.
Well, we talked about it, and they're lucky to get Terrence Thompson as a grad student, with early departure of John Collins, who you see on a regular basis. But then Dinos Medical going back overseas to play professionally. That left a big gap up front.
A runner by Brown, tipped out. Duke comes 2-on-1. Allen on the bounce to Goldwire, lays it home.
Yeah, really nice job by Grayson Allen conducting that 2-on-1 break. You want to make them one defender commit one way or the other. He broke to Allen and just made a perfect feed.
Duke on a 9-0 spurt to lead by 5. Biggest lead of the game for the home team. Wilbekin.
Well, you wonder if Danny Manning, if they score in this possession, might call a timeout to calm things down.
Carter misses the 3. Brian Crawford looking to drive, and a blocking foul against Jordan Goldwire. picks up his second. Donovan Mitchell returning for the Digs. Turns Thompson to the bench. And for Duke, Alex O'Connell will come in.
This guy O'Connell is an energy guy, gives you a lift, a very good three-point shooter. And both teams, Bob, early on, both coaches, I think because of the noon start, running a lot of players into this game.
Digs have missed their last 8 after hitting 6 of 8. And we're going to have a goaltend call to make it 20-17. Woods is back in. You'll see it here.
Well, that's, there's no chance that Allen got caught inside having to defend one-on-one.
(20-17) Duke. Trent lets it fly and hits another 3. His second of the game.
He looks pretty good. I mean, usually the guys under the weather, you'll see it early, and then usually it affects his jump shot.
23-17. And a steal. O'Connell's got it.
Beautiful job that time playing that screen roll with the quick hands.
Bagley in and out. Comes up with a loose ball. A third attempt. And a foul on Wake. Boy, you talk about going after that basketball. Marvin Bagley.
Yeah, that's just, offensive rebounding, his effort, and he just beat everybody off the floor twice. Everybody around there, but, a nice tap out there and then going after it for another time. This is the thing that makes Duke such a high-scoring team. They shoot a high percentage, and they're the best offensive rebounding team on top of that in the ACC.
They get more shots up than any team in the conference. And Bagley hits the first free throw for his 7th point. Sark coming in. Mitchell goes out. Jafet Mathias was the man credited with the basket at the other end for Wake to break that long scoring drought. And the shot by Bagley is good.
Antonio Frankovic with some early first half minutes. You may see the rotations tighten up more in the second half, but I think they're just trying to get guys a little bit of rest here early on.
25-17. Pump fake and a 3-ball good for Brian Crawford. He's at 37% from 3, and he leads the Deeks in scoring at 15-8.
Yeah, they're 4 of 15 from inside the arc, 4 of 8 from behind the arc, so that's a much more higher percentage shot.
Allen fouled on his way to the lane. Timeout at Duke. 7:28 in the first. Duke on top. 25-20. Our coverage of ACC basketball is being broadcast on AFM, the American Forces Network. We welcome the nearly 1 million men and women of the U.S. Army, Air Force, Navy, Coast Guard, Marines stationed around the globe in 175 countries and on the high seas. We're proud to have you with us, and thank you for all you do for us. Hope you enjoy the day.
And here's a look. There's been a lot of driving pitches in this game so far, and Duke's starting to heat up from 3, and it's been a number of different people on that play. Grayson Allen out on the open floor, and an easy runner right there. And then Gary Trent Jr. knocking it down. So he's found some pretty good rhythm. And there's Jeff K. We talked about Coach K being out. You watch games and you watch a huddle, Jeff Capel he'll be the one, the voice at the start of the huddle, and then Mike will come in later on. And I'm watching the huddle, the same attention to what's being said, the same attention to the voice. Players really respect Jeff. And but it was interesting. I saw John Shire actually took the first part of that last huddle, and then Jeff came in a little bit later.
Grayson Allen hits the 2 free throws for his first points. For Wake Forest, Deral Moore, Mike, got that second foul, went to the bench at 11:20. Wake was up 15-14. It's been a Duke run since he exited.
And that's, like I said, that one rim protector is out of the game now.
And that a much-needed three from Keyshawn Woods. It's his second, 6 points, 27-23. Under 7 to go, first half. Bagley moves in, and a whistle.
You know, and defended well. You've got to make the left-handed Bagley go right. I think that's where you take your chances. But a bad foul that time, you bail him out and put him on the line. That was going to be a tough shot.
Fed Mathias with the foul, sending Marvin Bagley to the line. He is 2 for 2 today, 60% this year. 5 times this year he's had double-figure attempts at the foul line. Under Coach K, players with 30 points and 15 rebounds. Christian Laettner did it once. Mr. Bagley's already done it 3 times. Amazing. If he just gets a double-double today, he's going to tie the Duke freshman record with 14. That seems to be a foregone conclusion.
that record won't be just broken, it'll be shattered.
Nice elbow jump shot. Crawford getting it going again. He's got 9, 28-25.
And you know, it was at that point Duke looked like they were going to put that spurt on and then open the game up. And Wake has really had an answer for everyone in this game so far.
Grayson Allen.
And they've done it primarily with perimeter jump shooting.
A little long this time for Crawford, or for Woods rather. And here's Allen giving. O'Connell firing and hitting. That's a 3.
Yeah, see, I mean, that's what he's capable of. And, you know, if you're Wake, you may be locked into a couple other guys out on the floor, but you've got to pay attention to him from the 3-point line. He played it perfectly. There's a trailer coming in behind.
13 of 24 this season for O'Connell. Right down Main Street. Wow, Brian Crawford.
That's Bagley, an adequate shot blocker, but in a situation like that, I mean, you've got to have a brave heart to step in on that, but they've got to get guys take charges in that situation.
That would be like taking a charge on a freight train the way he was coming at him. Bagley now with 11. 33-27.
He's shown the ability. He can work on either block. A lot of times a left-handed player, if you're looking at the basket, likes to be on that right block so he can come in with his strong hand. But Bagley with a nice jump hook to the baseline.
Kicked out of bounds. Oh, one more time, Brian Crawford. Turn that corner.
Yeah, they got caught up in playing that pick and roll, and no help. And nobody wanted to get it in the poster that time.
Crawford will now come out. Solid first half performance with 11. Duke by 6. Wilbekin from the wing. Second chance opportunity here for the Deeks. And back up, Sarr rolls it off the rim. Third chance.
Duke in the zone, and you got the 2 best rebounders out there for Duke as well, so it's unusual to see another team get a third opportunity.
Wilbekin, long one. 4th chance. As Sarr came up with it, and then he was fouled.
They're going to call it. They're going to give him 2 shots on that play.
Jeff Cable didn't appreciate that whistle against Wendell Carter. His first.
Well, just good hard work inside, and that's just a lazy foul by Carter.
Now the referees will huddle.
It's only a 15 foul. I think that I thought that that it looked like they were going to shoot. Yeah, he's going to give them Les Jones. I thought I saw him give the 2-shot foul signal, but the referees got together and it will be a shooting foul.
Sarr will go to the line. 50% at the stripe this season. Time for our Coyote Tractors Player of the Week from Notre Dame, TJ Gibbs. 22 against the Wolfpack, 18 in the victory at Syracuse. And you see what he did with that NC State performance, a career best, and sensational against the Orange.
And that was without Matt Farrell and Bonzi Colson, who's going to be in, which is really a shame with Colson, because that injury is going to be out for an extended period of time. They hope to get him back before the ACC tournament, if not a little before. But you hate for in this guy's senior year to have that happen.
Exactly, and not one of the biggest stars, not only in the ACC, Mike, but in all of college basketball. And look at that block. Wow, Sarr right there.
He's second on the team in blocks and timed that one perfectly. I think it surprised Bagley.
And when ricochets off the board, Duke behind the back, Trent to the hole. Dishes to Allen, but we've got a foul on Wake. Timeout, 3:57 first half at Cameron. Duke by 5.
Next time I want you.
The ACC three-point challenge presented by Mellow Mushroom. You can get that free download in your app store. You can play your favorite ACC team. We, of course, went to our focus group, did a little research before the game today, and the Crazies said 2 slices up. Yep, they enjoyed this one.
And the millennials much better suited to demonstrate this than either you or I. So good job there by the crowd.
Grayson Allen has been more of a rebounder and distributor so far in the first half, but lots of ways to impact the game.
Yeah, and he's only taken 3 shots, got through the free throw line a couple of times.
Sarr picked up the Wake foul, his 3rd. Gary Trent Jr. ready at the foul line here. There's a question at the table. Jerry Heater coming over to check on things.
Well, with 3:57, you got Darrell Moore with 2 fouls. I don't think you can come back with him. I would think Danny Manning will save him for the second half. With Sarr, you can live with, if he picks up his 4th, then, so be it.
Danny Manning's team has attempted but 2 free throws in this first half. Sarr a moment ago. First time Wake went to the line. And they've changed the foul. That was the question at the table. So Woods gets his 1st, and Sarr still has 2.
Okay, so they're still in good shape there as far as using their big bodies, their guys off the bench. And the bench, frankly, has come through for Wake in this game. 15 points so far.
Trying to move that ball from side to side, shift that zone, and the Deacs turn it over. Bagley ahead. O'Connell lays it up and in.
Nice. It all starts with Grayson Allen defensively on the other end. I thought they really had good coverage of the 3-point shooters out on the perimeter. But that was terrific. And they talked about the energy that O'Connell can bring into a game. He's done it so far.
They got it into the middle of the zone that time, but unable to finish was Woods. 3 on 2. Nice find. O'Connell gets it up. He was fouled.
Look at this last play, and boy, for Bagley to be able to bring it out of the backcourt like that and make the correct decision, is showing another facet of his game.
Alex O'Connell, Atlanta area product, putting it up and in.
I wouldn't be surprised, to see maybe his minutes expand. He keeps having days like this. He played 16 minutes against Pitt, had 8 points.
Well, that was an ACC high for him. Hitting for point number 7. 38-28. Duke putting together another run. This one's at 10-3 over the last 3 minutes.
And it's a dangerous 3 minutes for Wake Forest, because Duke, they're known for finishing out halves with spurts like this.
And a turnover.
It's 2 turnovers in the last 2 possessions for Wake Forest.
7 for the game. The Slim Reaper lines it up and drains another one.
He is in rhythm right now, not even thinking about the shot.
He's on automatic.
Yep.
Timeout, Wake.
Good timeout by Danny Manning. They got to calm this thing down, or this could be 20 points by the time the first half is over.
And no sooner did you get the words out of your mouth, this is a crucial 3 minutes for Wake. Bang, here they come.
Well, look at the find, and this is how you beat a defense with a cross-court pass, and that was perfect, right to his shooting hand. All O'Connell had to do is redirect the ball to the rim.
7 assists for Grayson. Coming up next, most of you will see one of 2 great games. Jimmy Boeheim on the orange at number 23 Florida State. And we'll see a Florida State team looking to bounce back after that tough loss to Louisville. Others will see Georgia Tech as they travel to Steel City for a showdown with Pitt. The ACC Network game in your area, visit ACCnetwork.tv. And remember that select ACC Network games are also streamed live for free on the official ACC mobile app. 41-28. Deeks desperately looking for a hoop here. Inside, off the side of the glass for Thompson. Bagley, step in 3. Out of bounds to Duke.
And that was right at the exact, loves that left wing area on the three-point line. Will he check on that shot?
41-28. And a hold. Inside on Wake Forest, and I believe they spotted Woods for that one. It's his second.
O'Connell going the line on this, and it was he was trying to run a curl around Bagley, and this is a guy, and that's what moving without the ball does for you, Bob. And you know, you get guys grabbing at your jersey after a while if you keep in motion.
Coming up on the Hardy's halftime report, we'll head around the ACC for news and notes of the conference, preview the second half of our ACC Network doubleheader. All that plus highlights and stats on the Hardy's halftime report. A dozen for Alex O'Connell off the bench. Duke has gone to the line 16 times, Wake Forest 2. But a lot of that has been the perimeter orientation by Wake.
Right. I mean, they don't have but an interior presence offensively on the post. So that hurts you in a couple ways, that you can't get Carter or Bagley, put any pressure on them to defend and get them in foul trouble.
And another whistle against the Deeks, stopping the clock at 1:49. Thompson's second.
Carter inside, just doing a nice job fighting for position.
Oh, a ton of free throws here for Duke in this first half. On average, 23 free throw attempts a game. That's third highest in the league. These are attempts 5 and 6 for Carter. Now Brown coming in, and there you see graphically what we're talking about with the free throw attempts.
Well, you know, and isn't it amazing, Bob, how if Marvin Bagley isn't here, Wendell Carter, imagine all the attention that he'd be getting in the year that he's had so far.
He's had 6 double-doubles. 13-1 Duke run, pushing the lead to 16. Thompson. And it's last touched by Wake Forest. How about Carter there getting that one to go off Brown out of bounds.
That active zone, the three-point shot has really kind of dried up for Wake Forest over this stretch. And they haven't gotten anything out in transition other than that dunk by Crawford a few minutes ago.
Bagley. And there's going to be a hell ball. Inadvertent whistle here.
It was more of a slap. He never really got control of it to force a held ball. It was good defensive play.
Well, the officials conference briefly. Clock stops with 1:16 to go in the half.
Sean Hall down, talking over.
So with the inadvertent whistle, they go to the arrow, and that's how Wake Forest comes up with the ball. And that's a travel. Brian Crawford commits Wake Forest 8th. .106 left in the half.
After that initial flurry, Danny Childress has been pretty quiet in this game.
Carter on the deck. And we've got a foul on Duke.
Yeah, he dribbled himself right into a charge that time. You know, if I'm defending him, I'm going to give him about 8 to 10 feet out at the three-point line. I'm like, go ahead, big fella, launch him from out there. And you know, he just got out of control off the dribble.
44-28. Deeks will sub in Donovan Mitchell and take out Sarr. Brian Crawford. Childress works off the screen. And Crawford bangs in a much needed three for the Deacons. He's got 14 first half points, his second three.
He's the one that got them confidence going early, but the second half, its second and third score is going to have to show up for Wake Forest.
No other Deacon close to double figures in this first half. Duke takes the timeout at 27.3. Well, the talk of the conference, of course, is what this freshman has been doing his day so far.
Yeah, he's gotten out. You know, if you're Wake Forest, really, you know, and Danny Manning's played, he's got 11 points, but 4 of 10 shooting to get there. And the ones that he's made have been dunks. It's been, you know, his other shots that he's had trouble with. Nice left-handed hook right there. But if you can make him a high volume shooter against great players, that's about the best you can hope for.
Bagley leading the conference, as we mentioned earlier today, in scoring and in rebounding. 13 double-doubles, leads the conference at second in the country. And he's tracking for another big afternoon. 44-31 Duke. Shot clock at 23 with the game clock at 27.3.
Well, remember, there was that big disparity in bench points, but O'Connell evened that up all by himself.
Terrific with 12 and 2 outstanding threes. Bagley going in. Glass and good. High arcer. Couldn't touch that shot. 13 for Bagley.
Nice clear out right there, and you can't let him get to his left hand.
Shoulder smothered, but fouled on the drive.
Frankovich in there.
And the junior picks up his first. 1-and-1 coming for the Deeks. This is judged to be a shooting foul.
Well, this is 2.5 seconds left in the half, and it's the first, the 1-and-1 that they've had.
Brandon 77% at the line. And he's got 7. Had 10 here at Cameron last season. Kiki coming in. 2.5 all that remains. Second shot for Childress. O'Connell from midcourt. And the first half comes to an end. The 7th-ranked Blue Devils, looking to continue their mastery over Wake Forest in this building, lead the Deacons 46-33.
ACC basketball is being brought to you by your local Toyota dealers. Toyota, let's go places. By Hardee's. By Progressive Insurance. And by Mellow Mushroom, out of this world pizza.
Welcome back in. College Basketball Live, sitting here with a few ACC coaches. There's one first-time head coach in this group, David Padgett. When some assistants, most assistants get a head coaching job, it happens in April. You got yours in October. How would you assess the challenges of getting your team ready for the season in the preseason?
I don't know if we have enough time to talk about the challenges we've faced, but, the good news about the team I inherited, we have a very good mix of older players who've played college basketball, seniors, juniors, even a sophomore in VJ King, and we have a very talented freshman class. Obviously, they're freshmen. There's a lot they need to learn and go through, and there's no easy way to get freshman experience except to let them go through it. But our older guys have been tremendous in trying to help the younger guys and get ready for the season. So just each practice, we're just trying to get better than we were the day before. You
had a little more lead time when you stepped over from an assistant to replacing John Calipari there at Memphis. What advice would you give him stepping in, although the time frame is a little bit different?
No, David's going to do a great job, and he's a basketball guy, and his dad was a really good coach as well too, and so he's going to do great. And they're good. Their team's really good, and following. With Coach Pitino, and when I took over at Memphis following Coach Calipari, it's just they're hard to do because the success that you're following in both guys. So you just do the best you can.
It was a primary head coaching job there at Memphis. You're just getting started. Mike, reflect on what it was. You're at the pinnacle now, the coaching in the ACC. Reflect to your first head coaching job when you slid into that chair and had that ownership. Maybe an overwhelming feeling. What was that like?
I think it was. I remember my first year at the University of Delaware in 1995. I wasn't very trusting of delegating. I tried to do everything and a little too much. I've learned to delegate more. But I think the biggest thing is you try to be yourself. You've worked for a guy. You've been with a head coach. I think to develop your own identity and be yourself, as soon as you can get confident doing that's going to be helpful.
Jim? What was that like?
My first head coaching job was at a Division II school called American International College in Springfield, Massachusetts. And recruiting there was very, very difficult. But we spotted a young man I thought could really turn our program around. His name is Rick Carlisle. And we tried to recruit Rick Carlisle to a Division II school. 2 years later, I was the assistant at Virginia, and Rick called me. He was playing at the University of Maine, and he transferred to Virginia, helped us get to the Final Four. Now has been in the NBA since 1984. So when you're looking at players and trying to build a program, you got to find good players. Rick was a good player. We just couldn't get him to AIC.
Yeah, it doesn't matter where you are. You might be someplace soon that you can actually get them. Buzz, your first head coaching job, what was that like?
I remember it vividly. Very honored, grateful, bigger than any dream I'd ever had. Was very thankful that the University of New Orleans would hire me, and have felt that way every day over the last 11 years.
Brad?
Yeah, I was very blessed. I took over at UNC Wilmington, having been an assistant there for 8 years under a very good coach in Jerry Wainwright. So the program was in a great situation. We had good players coming back, a good foundation. We'd been to the tournament. And so really the ease of transition for me was much easier than most, in that I already knew the league, I knew the university, and Coach Wainwright had given me a ton of responsibility. So that really gave me a lot of confidence.
You mentioned getting to the NCAA tournament, and when you're at maybe a lower level or a mid-major school, it's getting to the tournament's a great accomplishment. When you're in the ACC, it's not just getting to the tournament, it's making a run. You could have a great year, maybe even win a championship in the league, but you don't get to the second weekend, and it's almost forgettable in some fans' eyes. How do you guys self-assess when it comes to success relative to the NCAA tournament, whether it's getting there or advancing deep?
Well, for me, I've tried to be better just about your own personal success and what you define it as. I think my time at Memphis, I was really unhealthy mentally, and just because I lived and died by every single game, and so when I came to Georgia Tech, I tried to have a better perspective on things, and it's a work in progress. It's hard to get to the tournament. I mean, I thought we had a good year last year, and we finished 11th place in this league. And I mean, and we had 8 wins in the league. I don't know if we'll ever get 8 wins again in this league. I mean, it's hard to do. And so, if you just do the best you can, I've tried to be better about that and focusing on just doing the best you can and let the chips fall where they fall.
Now, as a player, obviously, you want to get as deep as you can. What about as a coach? He said when he started out, he didn't have a healthy perspective. You're just starting out. What's your perspective?
Well, I think at Louisville, it's just been long established that getting to the tournament per se isn't enough. I think making a deep run has come to be expected over the last 15, 16 years, and obviously we've had a lot of success. Now, I'm not going to put any pressure on myself or on my team to say, hey, we have to get to the Elite Eight or we have to get to the Final Four, because that's just not realistic. Everything we've been going through, me as a first-time head coach, that wouldn't be fair to anybody. So we're just trying to have as good of a season as we can have, win as many games as we can have, kind of just break up into 3 segments. You got non-conference, you've got conference, and then postseason. So just take it one segment at a time.
How does that change as you get deeper into your career? Because when we refer to you guys, it's how many Final Fours does he have? How many national championships?
Well, that dynamic happened a little bit this year for us. The 2 previous years we've been to the Elite Eight. We get knocked out in the second round by a very good West Virginia team, but we finished in the top 4 of the regular season and got to the championship game of the ACC tournament. And so I was trying to tell our guys that, we had a pretty good run, and even it was even harder trying to explain that to my fans, but maybe they finally got it at the end of the day.
What about you made a deep run with George Mason, now here at Miami?
Yeah, 20 years ago, I had an incredible opportunity to talk to the great John Wooden, who won 10 national championships. And he talked about one thing that you had to have to be successful as a coach. And he said you have to have balance. You have to have the understanding of what your expectations are, maybe very different than what anybody else is. And you just have to have that balance in your life, balance with your team, so that you're enjoying the journey. Not so much talking about, did you make the Final Four? So, and that's the way we've tried to approach it. We just want to be the best we can be every season we're competing.
Last thing, Buzz, it's validation, though, right? I mean, NCAA tournament, that's a thing you can sink your teeth into.
I think it just depends on what validation and who you're wanting the validation from. Not trying to be holier than thou. I like playing in the NCAA tournament because that means I have an extended period of time with our players each day. And so whether we win, whether we get there, I think that's for other people to judge. I think my responsibility as a leader is to help them grow to be the best people they can be, and if that means we play a couple extra games, maybe that time period helps them even more.
And Brad, you've had a taste of it there, Clemson.
Yeah, we haven't been in a while, and certainly something that we want to get back to. We talk a lot about, playing in March with a chance to advance. That's kind of a phrase we use to kind of keep our momentum going, and I think it's something that you put the NCAA tournament out there. It's not as easy at some programs. It's more of a challenge, and certainly you analyze each team and just try to get better working on that with that thought in mind for us.
Okay. Good perspective, guys. We'll wrap it up when we return. These guys have left quite a mark on their teams. What about the digital footprint, social media? Get into that for a few minutes now.
All right, let's start with your health.
Yeah.
You're 70, and a lot of people want to ask how much longer do you want to go?
Do you want to ask that?
Yeah, I'm going to ask that. I'm going to ask you, how much longer do you want to go?
Yeah, I didn't get my knee replaced to retire. Let's put it that way. So I'm 70 years old. I think I'm definitely younger at heart. I have the knowledge, though, of a 70-year-old who's coached for 42 years and has coached 11 years with the U.S. team. And I think that's a good combination, especially at a great school.
I want to make a difference. I'm enthusiastic. Come on, Kyle, I got you.
Grayson Allen, when describing you, called you a friend.
Yeah.
Which is interesting for a 21-year-old to call a 70-year-old a friend.
Right.
How do you think you've been able to connect with players these days and change and be able to adapt?
Well, I think it's up to the teacher to adapt so that his or her teachings are accepted easier by their pupils. I've had to adapt a lot. Not values, work ethic, and all that, but how you communicate, how you dress, what jokes you tell, do you stay current?
Grayson Allen is a really good basketball player. He also appears to be a dirty basketball player.
Well, his reputation for this precedes him.
What gives you confidence that Grayson, if you have confidence, that Grayson has kind of gotten past the issues, the tripping issues?
Well, you know, look, there's no, is it more tripping issues or what everyone made of a couple issues? I want Grayson to be Grayson. Grayson's, I think, as good a player as there is in the country. And I want him to be a leader, and I want him to not have a rear-view mirror.
How much did you worry about him last year, though, because of all the public outcry and the attention that he got? How much were you worried that he'd be able to handle it all?
You would have thought that there was a capital offense that had occurred. That's the attention, I think, that our program brings, the scrutiny, and you know, you have to learn to live under that microscope. But he has had an opportunity to be in incredible situations where you don't play at the beginning of your freshman year. You are the hero of the national championship game. You're an All-American as a sophomore and you have an incident, and then that's unbelievably publicized. And then you have another situation, and then you're hurt the whole year. Holy mackerel. He's lived a lifetime in those 3 years, and I think it'll all end up really, really good.
How good can this team be? I mean, you have talent, you've got bigs. They're very different than a lot of your previous teams.
Yeah, you know, our team is going to be very much a developing team. We have 3 guys in Marvin Bagley, Wendell Carter, and Marquise Bolden who are going to be pro players, maybe all 3 of them at the end of this year. We don't have the perimeter depth that we, like the last few years, but we have more big guys. And so we have to adjust what we do, and which we do every year.
Has your outlook of recruiting one that's changed? People think it has.
No. Everyone talks about us changing our recruiting philosophy. That's not the case. It's just that Grant Hill was in the mid-'90s or early '90s. If Grant Hill was today, he'd go too. But we would have still recruited Grant Hill. Leitner and Battier, and that's when it started for us with Elton Brand, but he was even here 2 years. I have not changed. The landscape has changed to where it would be the best decision for them to go, and then I'm okay with that.
We're a global network, so we rely pretty heavily on satellite technology.
Overtime games in the NBA, I mean, that's awesome.
Todd, I think we lost our feed.
Roger that, Stan. Houston, we have video system failure.
That's weird, because everything's good on our end.
We have no video here.
Stand by.
We got another one down, sir.
It's pretty high-tech stuff, but we're a high-tech company.
Orbit, give me a status on Sat 12, please. That's not good at all.
Lakers Thunder at 8, Wednesday on ESPN.
Whenever Blue Bloods face ranked road tests, it's gonna be a blockbuster.
The most passion, the most intensity, the highest level of excellence in college basketball.
First,
this team has aspirations to win a national championship.
This is a young Miami team that grew up a lot.
Then,
this league has belonged to Kansas.
They know what the press does for this team. This place is rocking.
This is a Sonic blockbuster. Duke Miami at 7, then Kansas, West Virginia at 9. Monday on ESPN.
What time is it?
Saturday.
Prime time.
Yo, the league is stacked from front to back with cats who make the net snap and backboards crack.
From old school fans to new advanced fast, the fact of the matter is Saturday's where it's at.
Yep. Prime time, yeah, the stars align to shine and grind and drop dimes and blow your mind. Every name making it rain is the best in the game. You're witnessing the future of the Hall of Fame.
It's prime time.
NBA Saturday Prime Time begins January 20th on ABC, presented by YouTube TV.
Brooklyn in general did a terrific job with the tournament last year.
And back to Brooklyn this year.
And back to Brooklyn again, and then on to Charlotte.
Mr. Goldwire certainly made an impact in that first half.
Yeah, no, and
Mr. O'Connell too from three.
Yeah, and he came off the bench firing, and really gave this team a lift.
46-33 Duke as we begin the second half. It will be Duke basketball. Blue Devils in that first half, 42%. They were 6 of 12 on threes. Lob nearly went in the basket.
Pretty nice job, and again, that's the difference that the length of Darrell Moore makes. That he had Bagley pushed all the way under the basket. There's no way he can make that pass.
A key point in that first half when Moore picked up his second foul. Wake Forest led 15-14. Didn't play the rest of the half. Duke on a run out with Allen. In the middle, Carter travels.
You know, it's tough to give the ball to a big like that in traffic and have him make a play with a dribble. Ideally, you want to have him just go one step and into his shooting motion.
Wake Forest attacking with Wilbekin at the top against the Duke zone.
Let's see if they can identify those second and third scorers here. Crawford's been carrying the load.
Nice turnaround for Thompson.
I found the seam. Great way to attack the zone is right at the free throw line. And he's got enough size. He can knock down that shot and also pick out shooters.
Thompson's first basket of the day. Here's Bagley dialing one from deep. He's up to 16. That's his 11th three-pointer this season.
Yeah, that's just borderline illegal for him to be knocking down threes. How do you guard that?
The scrap is on, and Duke wins it.
Yeah, nice hustle that time by Carter getting on the floor.
Bagley. Right down the pipe. Moore with the jam.
Well, and if you're Carter, you got to pick up on that play. Bagley was stuck underneath, and that was one of the few times Darrell Moore outran their team down the floor. Good hustle by him.
Feet set, three ball good. Second of the day, 10 points for Carter.
Your last couple of possessions, your 4 and your 5 have stepped out and knocked down threes.
52-37. Will the Dukes try to fight fire with fire? They hit 6 of 13 from 3 in that first half. Instead, they turn it over here. Behind the back goes Bagley. Here it comes, and there it goes down for Bagley. 18.
Really? Are you kidding me? Behind the back, full court, after knocking down a 3.
4 with the hook. Followed. That's no good.
If you're Darrell, you can't shoot a fadeaway hook shot. You've got to attack him.
Allen misses.
Try to pick up that foul if at all possible.
Wilbekin. Bagley rebounds. Long lead. Allen can't catch up with it. Oh, wiped out a photographer underneath the basket.
It's always good to go into a friendly crowd. You know you're going to get hurt, but yeah, Gary
Parsons.
I've seen him get hit more times than any cameraman, I think, in ACC history, and this is coming right at you. And people, let me tell you, that hurts.
Coach K, if you're looking for somebody to take a charge, just talk to Gary Parsons. Lost his cap.
I remember he got knocked out at a game one time at North Carolina. Literally knocked out. We put him in concussion protocol.
It is not an easy job when you're looking at the whole world through a viewfinder. Deeks with it. Sarr from the wing puts in 3. 4 points, first field goal. 14-point Duke lead.
Known as a 3-point shooter. They're going to lift, and now if the Wake needs to go, well, first of all, stops on this end.
Trent. Carter. Second chance. Block and a foul. Number 3 on Darrell Moore. Brings us to a timeout at 15:58 of the second half. Marvin Bagley III putting on a show here to start this second half. A 3-ball, a behind the back move that results in a jam.
ACC are a click away. Customize your experience for scores, stats, highlights, and news. The ACC mobile app, presented by Outback.
Marvin Bagley III with another resume builder today against Wake Forest.
Just every game out, you're waiting to see, all right, how's he going to up the ante, and he manages to do it. Wake Forest now, this is about as big as they can go with Sarr and Moore out on the floor, both 7-footers.
Bagley has scored 18, 4 dunks, a 3, and that nifty behind the back move. Carter with his second free throw for 12 points. 56-40. The Wake Forest ball club that's 1-3 in the ACC. Been a long time since they've beaten a ranked team on the road. You have to go back to 2010, winning in Chapel Hill. Cross court, look out! The long arm of Bagley to knock it away.
Well, the thing that really put them in a bind was that rough November that they had, and they thought they were going to have Collins and Mitiglu, and they made that schedule to challenge themselves and have some, good RPI games in there. And then all of a sudden those two vanish, and it becomes really tough.
And you're talking about a guy in John Collins who's the 19th pick of the first round of the draft to Atlanta. Childress. And a three-pointer there, his third of the game, 11 for Brandon.
Well, we'll revisit too. Remember the second half that he had against Virginia Tech, and he needs to duplicate that here to try to get them back in this ball game.
Bagley, oh my! Used the high glass that time. 20 points. His 6th 20-point game of the year. He's got 4 30-point games. Childress off the bounce. Another rebound for Grayson Allen. That is his 7th. Post up for Carter. Well, they're putting on a clinic in the second half. Yeah, Carter and Bagley.
And then because the respect that they're staying at home out of the perimeter, and if you have a big and that many dribbles inside and that much time with no double team help, it's awfully tough to defend.
Woods gets a screen. Crawford with the corner 3. Grayson Allen there. Ahead to Duvall. Nifty dribble through the contact for the foul. Sarr with his 3rd foul. And with that last 3-pointer for Brandon Childress, he and his dad have taken over the career lead in father-son scoring leaders in conference history.
I hope Brian Allredden doing a game today. He may not be able to talk.
What happened?
A record broken?
Looks just like his dad.
Yep.
Same looking shot. The ball has 5, 61-43.
You might think when Brandon Childress is all done, that record may be tough to break going forward.
Poked away, but Allen got to midcourt and then a foul. Number 1 on Grayson Allen today. 13:56 left. Duke continues to build the lead. It's up to 18.
All right, and we talked about Wake. At least doing a better job of playing without fouling in this second half. Nowhere close to putting Duke in the penalty.
Sarr goes over the top, and Duke is there to knock it free. It was last touched by O'Connell.
That zone has been really active, and when you have Bagley out, when he's out on the floor on the bottom, he can make up a lot of ground in a short period of time.
Learning that lesson of fouling, of defending without fouling, as Sarr goes in, is always a hard one to learn for young teams. And the Deacs have done a lot of fouling this year. The lead pass for Bagley out of bounds. Wake 14th in the conference in fouls committed at 18.5. And that really gets exposed when you're on the road in a place like this.
Yep. And it also gets exposed when you've got bigs you can throw it into inside that can draw those fouls.
Woods with the pump fake and fire. And a Wake Forest foul. Jafet Mathias picks up his second. Danny Manning and the Deacs trying to hang on here. This one's starting to get away from them. Carter has used his dribble, so Allen does a spin around, and then we got a foul on Carter.
Yeah, he just I think you just have to hand that ball off. There's a tendency to stick your butt out and try to give your teammate a little bit extra room.
Not that you ever did anything like that.
That was more subtle.
Nice fake. Tip is good. And give that one to Jafet Mathias. He's got 4 points, 61-45.
That pump fake inside by Sarr actually exposed the offensive glass and gave him room to get inside.
Bagley for three. Hits high, hit the shot clock, so it's out of bounds.
Here's the look. I mean, you saw the shot clock go up, and that's the thing. You miss it nice and soft. It stays around the rim area, and he was right in front. He had Bagley on his back.
Childress. Woods for three. And right in front of the Deacon bench, he buries it.
Right, and see, you can either pass the ball into the post or get some good penetration. And Childress did a nice job breaking down the middle of the zone and getting a good jump shot for his teammate.
But you're right, Mike. The key is you got to get it into the paint somehow.
Yep. Either way, and but that was a good job off the dribble.
Possession arrow gives the ball to Duke. Or to Wake, I beg your pardon.
And let's see if, Wilbekin is having a nightmare of an afternoon right now. And, they need him he's 0 of 7 in the game so far. They need a spark from somewhere. And it's, through all of this, the eye test, Bob, I don't know if you agree with me, but it looked like Duke has a huge lead in this game. It's only 13 points. And, with 12 minutes to go, still very doable.
And that three ball can bring you back in a hurry. And Wilbekin, their leader in threes made. Crawford couldn't finish that one. O'Connell. Deacon's rebound.
He's running to that same spot, and then this time down on the other end of the floor on the left side.
Wilbekin not looking to shoot that one as the defense got to him. Shot clock's at 8. Crawford. Allen controls. .11-minute mark, second half. Bagley. Got to that left hand.
Yeah, and you know, when you're a shot blocker like Moore, you're much more comfortable in the post, in the paint area. But Bagley squaring up, and they cleared out the whole left side for him. Just so tough to defend for a 7-footer.
Crawford moves in, a reversal off the window. Brian Crawford up to 16 as he continues to torment the Blue Devils.
Childress, the only other Wake player in double figures in the game.
And a whistle stops the clock at 10:20. Bagley, all kinds of room to operate. Off the glass and good.
All things.
Well, take a look at Wendell Carter. We talked about the fact that, you know, if not for Bagley, maybe he's the center of discussion. I don't know that he really bothered about that. He just goes about his business. And very efficient afternoon for him so far. He's knocked down the knocked down the shot. And a double-double for him. Bagley 3 rebounds away from a double-double, Bob. And it's about as good a 1-2 punch you're going to get.
Yes, so our performances of the game brought to you by your local Chevy dealers. Duvall to the foul line, and he knocks this one in. His 6th point of the game. 64-50 Duke with 10:20 left. The last Wake foul on Moore, so he picks up his 4th at the 10:20 mark. More basketball coming. Many of you will see either Georgia Tech at Pitt, Syracuse, Florida State. That's up next, 2 o'clock Eastern time.
And Syracuse has just had so much trouble scoring. And it's been an issue. The defense has been okay. That zone is still tough, but they just can't put points on the board.
Jackets coming off that big win over Notre Dame in midweek. Around the rim and out. Tough luck there for Donovan Mitchell. It remains a 15-point ball game. Bagley again, and he is tied up. Whistles blow as the players untangle.
They've had to go with a smaller player against him to guard off the dribble drive. But it's the same exact play that they ran before, just with a smaller guy. And Mitchell getting a little chippy, along with Bagley. Les Jones doing a nice job stepping in there and trying to clean things up. I love that about officials go in and talk to guys because they can diffuse a lot of things very quickly.
Second foul on Mitchell. Allen whipping that pass. Grayson. Deeks on a run. Here comes Crawford right to the hole. He puts it in. Count the basket and the foul on Duke.
O'Connell going to get the foul. If that one, either you take a hard foul or you just let the play go. And this is a rush up the floor. Here's the look, just got the body right in there, and it's just better to let the play go and go down the other end of the floor.
Trent coming in. O'Connell goes out. Brian Crawford trying to finish off an old-fashioned three-point play. The point you made is such a good one about a veteran referee like Les Jones. These guys work this conference from start to finish. They get to know the players. They understand tendencies, personalities. And that's why you love to have the veteran refs on big games, because they can, exactly what you were saying, diffuse situations.
Yeah, they're like beat cops out there. They know the neighborhood, and for people out there, these guys watch film. I mean, they know what teams have tendencies are, where the ball's going, who the shooters are.
Trent's third three gives him 10. Duke up 15. Mitchell, tip no. Bagley clears. Bagley now 1 rebound away from a double-double, 22 points.
And, Duke may look to get a little bit more deliberate, especially once they get under the 8-minute mark.
Second foul on Childress.
Yeah, but here's the look. I mean, again, you're big man and coming out of the backcourt with the dribble and being able to find an open guy in the three. It's an amazing skill set.
What a package. And here it comes, winding up for the big two-hand throwdown.
Wow, that's a beautifully designed play, and it's the guys running the play that make it. Everybody was locked on Grayson Allen coming off the screen, and all Bagley had to do was dunk.
A whistle. And a foul against the Deeks. Big Sam picks up that foul.
There's the look on the weak side, and he was just running down the floor. That was nothing other than he ran into Wilbekin trying to get back after the dunk. But those are the ones that hurt the most when you turn around. You don't expect somebody to be there.
Carter trying to make a move. And the foul on the Deeks.
Well, how many times in this half have we seen isolations for the two bigs on either side of the floor? The left-hand side of the floor for Bagley, and letting Carter work on that other side of the floor, but they basically clear out and give him all the space he wants.
And rarely have the Deacons come with a double team to either man.
Yep. If I'm gonna dig in with somebody with the people they have out on the floor, I'm probably gonna come off of Duval. Now it's going to be a smaller double team, but if you got a guy pulled off the lane, at least just get the ball out of his hands, make him give it up, and you can recover back to him.
Wendell Carter Jr. as Duke piles up the free throw attempts. And we got a lane violation. A reprieve. To use a judicial term.
Dropping Matthias in a little bit too early on that. Everybody on the lane has to wait for the shot. The guy at the free throw line has to wait for it to hit the rim before he can go in.
I like to work in those legal terms when John Madry's doing our stats. He's so proud of me. This one goes. Big cheer for 15 for Wendell Carter. 71-53. Near steal. Crawford. The area opened up and a foul. This will be on Carter. Brings us to a timeout at 7:51 of the second half. Timeout at Duke. Mr. Bagley rattles the rim at Cameron. You're watching the ACC Network, an exclusive production of Raycom Sports. Also streaming live now on the ACC.com and on the official ACC mobile app. The New York Life ACC Tournament returns to New York March 6th through the 10th, and the ACC is giving you a chance to win a VIP trip for two, including tickets, hotel accommodations, and a travel voucher. Visit theacc.com/VIP for your chance to win. The winner will be selected February the 15th. Boy, what a great prize to win. Enjoy New York. Enjoy the ACC tournament in that beautiful Barclays Center. G-Man already making his dinner reservation.
Not too far from where I grew up in Connecticut, about 80 miles as the crow flies up to Monroe. So I used to enjoy going down the city, and then I played 7 years with the Nets. So and we played on 6 or 7 Christmas Day evenings against the Knicks. It was always great series, great fun. My favorite city in the world.
Brian Crawford putting in the 2 free throws. There was some contention by the Duke sideline that Carter did not foul on the bricked dunk attempt, but Carter picked up his 4th, and Crawford cashed in at the line. 71-55, and it has stayed right around this 13 to 17 point spread. Duke trying to come up with a late knockout punch, and they get a 3 from the corner for Trent. Biggest lead, 19.
Wow, and talk about efficient. 13 points on 6 shots, 4 or 5 from downtown. Guy has just ending up with a touch of the flu. He's had a solid afternoon.
Woods trapped and deflected out by Jack White, who just came into the game.
And I think this zone this afternoon, active hands. There have been a lot of deflections in this, and not necessarily steals. They've had plenty of those.
White claims the rebound. And if you are just joining us today and you're saying, well, where's Coach K? Sitting this one out with flu-like symptoms. Trent again.
Same spot, same shot.
Same wide open look. 77-55.
Is that freshman front line any good? Trent, Bagley, and Carter.
Blocked by Bagley. Pulls it down, takes it coast to coast.
When our cameraman Gary down there almost got it again, Bagley is not getting up real quick.
No, he is not. And looks to be holding his face, and boy, nothing will hush this crowd quicker than anything going wrong with Marvin Bagley III.
I don't know if he just said. I don't know if he hit face first. He got hit twice in the head, once by Woods.
When Sarr got him on top of the head.
But you just don't expect a 5 like that to go 1-on-3 on a fast break and then draw the foul. But he paid the price for it.
After you smother the shot at one end. The foul will be charged to Sarr, his 4th, and tell by the reaction of the crowd that Bagley is up. Officials are at the scorer's table.
I think they're trying to look and see if there was a flagrant aspect to that.
So, Les Jones, Jerry Heater talk it over.
Look at the play, and there's the first foul, and there's this is actually the second foul. Like, really was the one that got him.
Marvin ready to go. I know your advice to Bagley: shoot at the goal in the middle. If you see like 3 or 4 when you walk up there.
Or if it's moving, you just got to take a shot.
25 to go with 10 rebounds. That ties the Duke freshman record. Jabari Parker in 2014.
It's amazing. Coach K, this would have been his 1,286th game. He's only started 4 freshmen during that whole time 39 times. But you can see why with this group.
How can you not? And they'll just get better day by day. 79-55. Woods, little runner, is good.
Yeah, nice job that time against the zone. I mean, you can play man principles against it, and they screened the top of the zone, and that freed him to get into the lane.
Another sideline 3 for Gary Trent Jr. (82-57).
Yeah, half of their field goals made are threes, 57%.
Jack White breaks up the lob attempt for more. Allen from the corner, and they wave that one off. This foul is going to go against Duvall.
Yeah, he saw Allen. They'll say again, there's that handoff, and then the continuation into the player. They've been pretty consistent with that call in the game.
That is probably the one call that's been emphasized more this year, the screening. Woods off the wrong foot. Hits another floater.
It's that same play. Just going a different way. Get the screen at the top. And for the last, and they're heading that direction again. Last 3 games in this building, Bob, Duke has scored over 100 points.
White blocked. Well, Moore has done a nice job defensively today. On the drive, off the rim for Woods.
And this is where, again, Duke may start to take the air out of the ball a little bit, run the possession down. Or not.
And up to get it, Moore again.
2 in a row.
Contact and one for Keyshawn Woods.
Moore. That was a terrific defensive play, and then the transition basket. All best of all worlds for Wake Forest. Get the 3-point play opportunity. Play clock stops. Here's the look, and it's at either one. Either you commit to take the charge, or again not allow the 3-point play, and that was the block on the other end. Great timing.
Woods missing the free throw, and Carter comes up with another rebound. 41 points and 21 rebounds combined for Carter and Bagley. And it's Terrence Thompson committing his 3rd foul off the ball. Time to look at the nation's top 25. Brought to you by the Honda dealers of the Carolinas. And there they are. Virginia up to 3. Duke falling to 7 after the loss at State. Miami, Clemson, North Carolina, and Florida State.
Well, and Florida State's the one that may be a little bit on the bubble right there with that loss to Louisville. And, if they take care of business, they may hang in the top 25.
Marvin Bagley. Let's go the deep breath. Looking for point number 28. Excellent job at the line today. Captured forever on the smartphone. 84-61 Duke. And a pickoff. Duvall takes it home, and it's a foul from behind by Brian Crawford. Thought he got a lot of the ball, but the ref didn't see it that way. Shoulder contact.
But he did make a play on the ball. It was I think Duvall thought he had a dunk here, but that was that was a good basketball play. A lot of times, Bob, if the ball goes down like that, the referee gives a little bit of doubt, but Les Jones coming in, like you said, and saying that he caught him on the shoulder, and that's where the foul was. I think he got most of the ball.
Where do you think Trevon fits into this puzzle going forward with all this frontline talent? He's got tremendous point guard skill.
Yeah, dude, I mean, he leads. We wouldn't even talk about it. He leads the conference in assists. He's right at his average right now with 7. If anything, probably work to improve his range and become a more reliable 3-point shooter. If he can do that, that could be a big part of the puzzle.
And that's the reason I ask you that, because as the season goes on, teams are just not going to let these guys go nuts. They're going to start double teaming each man, and that's going to leave some openings on the outside.
Yep.
Carter. Bagley picks it up and knows just what to do. 30 for Marvin. I've got him for 6 dunks.
He was 4 of 11. He's 7 of 8 now in the second half.
Moore with his second jam, 4 points. 88-63. off the hand of Carter. 3:10 to play. Duke up 88-63. We'll be back after a word from your local ACC station.
ACC basketball is being brought to you by Geico, saving people money for over 75 years. By Food Lion, raising standards without raising prices. How refreshing. And by your local Chevy dealers.
Cameron Indoor Stadium. 3 minutes and 4 seconds left. Bob Rath and Mike Jaminski with you as we kick off a big Saturday of ACC coverage. 2 games next that many of you will see in the ACC network. Childress left it short, and a jam follow and a whistle for Darrell Moore.
Yeah, Moore has done some good things. He stayed on the floor in the second half. You know, foul trouble early on, and then the good follow. He's got such great length inside.
Carter out with 5 fouls. Ends his day with 15 points, 11 rebounds.
You look at the other end of the floor, the Wake Forest, their 4s and 5s all have 4 personal fouls as well. So it's been battle inside.
7 points for Darrell Moore in an 88-66 ball game. Robinson tries to go over the top, little high-low action to Bagley. And a rebound to Mitchell. Blocked by Robinson. Lob, and another jam for Moore. All 9 of his points in the second half and all 4 of his field goals on jams.
Well, there's a reason why he's shooting 75% from the floor.
Yes.
And, you know, when you have guards like that who can penetrate like a Crawford, you know, you just have to be able to catch the ball, stand in there, or play it off the offensive glass.
88-68. Back iron for Crawford. 1:40 remaining, second half. And this one kicked on the way by Darrell Moore. And it is time for our Bojangles fan of the game. Mom and Dad, I know you're proud.
Yep. Your 60 or 70K goes a long way. Whatever it is now, you get a free helmet now.
Hey, the Admiral in attendance to see son Justin play.
Yep.
Does that make Justin a vice admiral?
I'm going to stay away from that one. There's a lot of ways you can go.
88-68. Robinson.
Why not? Give yourself a chance, young man, to get in the scoring column.
That's right. Moore turning. White rebounding. Minute 10 left.
That's just kind of a cookie cutter win for Duke here in Cameron.
Air ball for O'Connell. Final minute. Stay with us. Straight ahead to Pittsburgh and Tallahassee. Marvin Bagley with his 5th 30-point game. He continues this incredible freshman run. His 14th double-double today. We mentioned Jabari Parker. There's another name in Duke history who had that same number as a freshman, Gene Banks.
Yeah, Mr. number 20, Tinkerbell, my brother in arms for 3 years.
Yes.
been cleaning up some of my misses that in those 14 games.
Moore's day is done.
These, they got a quick turnaround. It's a travel day that's normally be an off day, but it's a travel day tomorrow, and they have to go to Coral Gables to take on Miami on Monday night. You talked about Wake's run. You know, they just got to try to survive this one. 6 of the 8 neck teams, including this one, against top 25 competition.
It's quite a gauntlet, and it made that Virginia Tech loss so bitter.
Yep. You know, a lot of what ifs, and you can look at the tape, but they were marvelous in the second half. It just Virginia Tech just blitzed them early, and it was enough.
And it is Reich with the three-pointer. For Reich, the senior. (89-71) Duke. Final seconds at Cameron.
Well, that's the good thing, though, about a noon start. You get that extra little bit of rest on Saturday. Feel like you have a little bit of a day off.
I'm sure there are some social activities that players will enjoy tonight.
I asked Jeff Capel and I asked the staff how how do you prepare for a noon game, and they got them over here at 8:30 this morning.
Wow.
Walking through some stuff, did some defensive slides, some breakfast, and then back in to warm up and get ready.
And with that, the ball game is over. Duke wins 89-71 over Wake Forest. Network, an exclusive production of Raycom Sports.